All right, so we're live now. Hey, y'all, don't y'all forget to mute your phones if when you're not speaking. And if y'all can share it if y'all don't mind. Y'all like that cartoon countdown? Oh, y'all can unmute yourselves, dude. Just unmute yourselves, dude. I can't hear nobody.
I can't see it. My screen's black.
Your screen black?
Yeah. I mean, it ain't no trouble, but
I think we're live already.
yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. I was saying,
I
look
think we
at
live
I
already.
was confused.
All right, whatever. All right. So, all right. All right. Well, listen, everybody. I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight to the big meeting where I gathered some of the people that I look up to. I think I'm the little brother of everybody that's in this room tonight, because these are the professionals that we're going to be talking to tonight. And so, listen, this is going to be informative. This is going to be interesting, and this is to help that pastor, that person that's struggling with ideas of marketing, struggling with the ways to brand themselves. And so, just without further ado, we're going to just go ahead and get started, and let you guys just introduce yourselves. Tonight is going to be just we're just going to have fun tonight. We're going to have fun. So, if you guys introduce yourselves, and we'll go from there.
All right, I go first. I'm Brandon Wiggins, owner and CEO of YTech Technology and Marketing Solutions LLC. Um, I've been official. I've been an official LLC for almost a year, but I've been doing graphics for going on 12 years. As far as what motivated me to get into it, I kind of just I kind of just fell into it. I had recently relocated back here to North Carolina from Texas. And my mom invited me to come to church. I said, "All right, I'll go." And I get to church, and this is the church. This is the church where I'm currently assistant pastor at now at Tri-Faith International Ministry. Shout out to Apostle Matthew and Pastor Don Tiller, my leaders.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up there. First Sunday I had ever went, Apostle prophesied to me. I never forget it. He prophesied to me and he said that I see you doing things with your hands. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I wasn't used to the whole prophesying things and all of that stuff. But he told me I would be doing things with my hands. And shortly after that, they didn't have anybody to handle flyers and all the graphic stuff. So I said, why not? I'll create a flyer. And 12 years later, here I am.
That's good. That's good. Rontrell?
I'm Rontrell Lynch, Designers Eye Branding Agency. I started out, or what motivated me initially, started out wanting to do T-shirts. So, not having that knowledge in the graphic design, I would always lean on other people to do the designs for the T-shirt. And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do this myself, because for different designs, I had to actually pay someone for those different designs. So what motivated me was I was like, well, I'm gonna learn how to do this myself. So it went from there and it grew to the designs, learning Adobe, Photoshop, and all of that. Yeah.
Miss Joy Lee.
Hi, I'm Joy Lee. I am the CEO and creative director of Ingenious Conceptions. I've been in business for 9 years now, and pretty much what inspired me to start was I went to school in University of North Carolina at Charlotte, but I majored in software information systems, a completely nerdy degree that I have, but I wound up being a graphic designer because of the degree that I had. A lot of companies starting out, they would say you would have to have experience. So I didn't have experience in that background, in that field. So what I did was I took one class, Photoshop class, and actually enjoyed it. So I was like, hey, I can make this a business. So that's what I did. I started out in 2010 with a small local church, and pretty much marketing the church members is like, hey, can you do this flyer? Can you do this flyer? My designs was crap, okay, back then. But I did it, and I just grew, and the business grew and grew by word of mouth. So that's how I got started.
Awesome.
That's good. Chanel?
Hello, everyone. Yes, I have been in business since
We can't hear
2014.
we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
We can't hear you, Shanetta.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well,
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
We
we
can
y'all
can.
can hear her?
Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
was there.
Oh, oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. Must be my AirPods.
I had my AirPods in too. I took them out. Okay. I actually started in 2014 just as a hobby, a little side hustle. I just wanted to come up with something that could help others, and I just decided to start off small. I did a logo for one of my classmates in high school, and it just grew from there. And some of you may have seen my recent story. I was working at our local YMCA as the marketing coordinator there, and I loved my job, but I also knew where my passion was, and I just decided to just take a leap of faith. I left my job. I gave them a 2 weeks notice, and now I'm full time in my own graphic design business, and it hasn't slowed down since. I'm
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, we down to Elgin and Elton. Whoever want to go first?
I guess I'll go. My name is Elgin Marsh. I'm the owner of the EM Experience. Of course, EM stands for Elgin Marsh. I have a different story. I'm an educator. As we know, educators do not get paid that much. However, I decided back when I was in college that I needed to make some side money to make it through. So I ended up dibbling in graphic design, but I actually started out in Adobe Elements. I never used Photoshop until 2017. Like I was sitting here using all the basics and stuff, and it took me until 2018 to cross over to Photoshop. But now I can say that I use Photoshop. I also do photography as well as I have my own clothing line, and I just try to make people experience their next level or help them get to their next level any way I can.
That's good. Last but not least.
Oh wow, me. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, my name is Elton Benjamin. Graphic designer, artist by trade. My background starting was painting murals, drawing sketches here, getting paid for this and that in high school. That's how I bought all my designer clothes in high school. we was dirt poor, but anyway, my background was in like traditional art, and it just made a big name for me. And so I went to art school and started studying 3D animation, movie special effects, that type of deal. Worked in that stuff on West Coast for a while, and just wanted to move back here and into the Raleigh Durham area, and just started doing designing. Worked in a couple of design agencies, and then just started working for a lot of different entertainment things because that was the right life. But everybody knows how that works. It's happy for a while, and then you like, oh, I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want to deal with these kind of people no more. But and now I just for the last probably 15 years, I've dealt with small business and faith-based stuff. So that's pretty a large amount of my stuff now that I deal with. And so now I've pretty much developed been from a graphic designer to a creative director, to pretty much just CEO handling different things and giving work to other people that's coming up like I did.
That's good. So just a little bit about me. My passion for graphics comes from a place of hurt, a place of pain. And a couple of years ago, I got hurt working at the Nash County Sheriff's Office, and so we lost everything behind that. And I asked the Lord. I said, God, if you give me multiple streams of income, I would cherish that forever. And out of the blue, I was just playing on my phone one day, and all of a sudden, just doing flyers. And y'all seen my flyers from the start. Like I humbly say, they want the best. but like I said, I know I don't consider myself the best, but all of you guys up here tonight, I look up to in some form or fashion, and so I thought it not robbery to come up and ask you guys to be a part of this discussion tonight. And so just diving right into it, as we maneuver through this pandemic, we noticed that our nation has become more and more virtual. That's all we do now. Everything is virtual now. Children are attending, school through Zooms. Churches are having virtual meetings, and more professionals are working from home. And I'm one of them. And we just see more digital everything. Everything is now virtual. And so as we transition from a more virtual society, here's my question. In your opinion, as graphics designers and creatives, what methods of strategy in marketing are ineffective and effective for our clients today? Anybody?
I would say becoming a dinosaur, saying that, okay, well, that's okay. Internet is good, but God is wonderful. And he's going to do everything. And that's the complete idiocracy on someone's part to think that things are not going to grow because you're setting your ways and you think this way. I had a pastor one time tell me, we had a consult in a meeting, and he was like, well, that's nice. Everything is good. But, I think God's going to work it out. We really don't need marketing or anything like that. And so when I said, okay, sir, thank you for your time. I said, but remember this, God was the greatest movement ever. But he had the best and biggest marketing team called 12 Disciples. And if you didn't have those 12 disciples, you wouldn't know nothing about what you think you know right now. So people need it. And when to answer the question short, just get out their own way. And they won't become dinosaurs. Because in 2021, whoever accepts it and takes on that and runs with that, they're going to bring more people to Christ. 2, they're going to keep their doors open, or they're going to keep their streaming going, and they're going to keep taking care of people that really need to be taken care of mentally in this time.
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback on that, I think this pandemic has really caused people that were, as Elton said, the dinosaur, caused them to kind of change and to see that they needed to. You see a lot of people that were saying, oh, well, Facebook this and this particular thing is of the devil and stuff. But you've seen those same individuals have to transition like that. If they, if you want to get this gospel out, you know, things in itself is not evil, is how it's used. So, you know, it's forced them to see that the internet, Facebook is not evil. It's another way to get the gospel out. So this pandemic has really opened up the eyes to a lot of people, because if you don't change, you're gonna die. Anything that's not growing is dead. So
yeah,
That's good.
That's good. And I thought of three words when I was reading that question, as far as churches are concerned. Evolve without compromise.
Mhm.
It is possible. It is possible to evolve. It is possible to keep up with the times without compromising your core beliefs and your core values. I mean, at the center of the church is Christ. And so it is possible to be able to relate, relate to the world, relate to the people that may not even step foot in your building and step foot in your four walls. It's critical to be able to relate to those people. And the only way that you can relate is to speak their language and show them something they want to see, show them something that catches their eye. 90% of the saints are on Facebook. Get on Facebook, like Ron Trell and Elton was just saying. Just branch out of normalcy. Branch out of normalcy.
Yeah.
And I think now, all churches really, they really need to start getting their own website, web space, because of the pandemic. There's so many churches are on social media. You probably need to invest in a web space or a website to, put your broadcast on, put your information out there to let them know, hey, we're still having church. You can just join virtual through our website presence. But because there might come a time in a day where all the churches can't fully be on social media,
or they don't like your message,
or they don't like your message. So you can't lock yourself in a box. And Jesus always, he never did the same thing over and over again. It was always something new. It was always a new miracle he did. So we just, as saints, we can't lock ourselves in a box, in our ministries in a box as well.
And I would say storytelling, and that can go for ministry or business. Getting people's testimonies, whether it be through writing or a video, just getting the word out through word of mouth. That's a big marketing tactic that can be used. It could be now or through the pandemic or anytime. Storytelling is a big marketing tactic to get people's opinions and their own views, and not just from you, but to hear testimony from somebody that you helped.
Right.
It's necessary.
That's good.
Hey, Brandon, can y'all hear me clear?
Yeah.
Okay, I took my AirPods out. Now, Brandon you said something real intriguing to me that I really like, and you said the churches have to evolve without compromise. Hey, look, kind of dig into that for me, Brandon. I like that. Help that church, because and the reason why I want to dig into that is because I talked with the pastor the other day, and they're still doing conference calls. They're not doing live streams. You know what I mean? And it's just he's stuck because the people are stuck and they don't want to move. So help us with that.
Well, it really ain't that deep. I mean, it's either you want your ministry to grow or you don't. In this day and time, the people that you say you want to reach in the marketplace, the people that you say you want to reach, they're not going to come. They're not going to come into your four walls. You got to get out. You got to get out. You got to step outside of your four walls. You got to get a presence on social media and on the internet. You got to go to the people. The people are not, this day and time, the people are not coming to church. You got to go to the people. You got to get out. And that's not to say that when you get out there, that you gotta, talk all this hip slang and saggy pants like ankles and do all. We still know that, and that's where the not compromising piece comes in, because you're still going to present yourself holy. You're still going to present yourself holy. You're still going to carry yourself a certain way, and carry yourself with the love of Christ. But at the same time, you got to be able to convey that love of Christ and convey that message of Christ in a language and in a brand that they're going to understand and be attracted to.
Right.
Yeah. Can I pick it back off of that? What Brandon's saying. The other side of that is, I think, why it's so hard for elder men to move that over that way is because, let's be real and honest, the people that with the technology generation don't have that much money and can't keep the lights on. So it's kind of hard for them to pick up and make and say, okay, if you ain't with technology, skip you. Because we're looking through a person's lens that say, a pastor's lens that's got to say, okay, well, I got to cater to everybody. I think it's harder for them just to cold turkey and jump over that way. I'm kind of up and down on that, but I do think in what you were saying that you do need to some kind of way set a date, whether it's Easter or whatever, start migrating and say, look, Sister John, I know you're 65, I know you but let's do this. Let's move over this way and give them a tool, because what we do is we get mad at people for not doing what we want them to do, but we don't give them the tools or a bridge to get to where we were trying to get them to get to. And as designers, we frustrated a lot because we don't give people the policies ahead of time so they can't frustrate us. We'll just, I'm excited. And 3 days later, you be like, why did I take this job on?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I think it's of looking at it through the lens of every kind of considering, you know how pastors have to do. Pastors have to consider everybody. But we got to give them the tools to migrate, because if you don't, it's like if you out of sight, you out of mind, and you out of business.
Yeah.
And
I think that
church is also business, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I think the hard thing to get people to see is too, I believe my mindset has always been, as the church, we should be the most creative, the most innovative.
Right.
Because we have the Spirit of God in us. We have the smartest person in the world inside of us. So I believe that we should be ahead of the world as it relates to technology and so forth. So I think that people have a wrong perception of the church per se. I think if they would get their perception right of the church, and that the church should be that beacon of light, then they would say, okay, then, we need to move, and we need to be more innovative. Because as Brandon was saying, not to compromise, because sometimes people have a misconception about like being worldly. The Bible says, talks about the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That's the things of the world. But as it relates to a particular fashion or a particular branding plan or something like that, that's not worldly. So I think they kind of confuse sometimes what's world, that word worldly, but what's worldly that contradicts God's word. That's worldly. I hate to say it, like basketball is evil. You can't play basketball. So I ain't gonna get myself in trouble about stuff.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
I was about to go there, but hey, Roger, that's a totally different stream, bro.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
Because tradition is something that I can't. That's like my pet peeve. I hate tradition, man.
Right.
I hate it.
But let me ask this though: how do we as graphic designers help the church break tradition? Joy. Yeah, look.
I mean, the church has to want it.
Yeah.
They have to want to break tradition, and we're just, there to help guide them through that. But if they don't want it, then they're going to be left behind. And I'm sad to say that there's a lot of churches that's going to be shut down because they are closed-minded.
Right.
So let me ask this next question then, and it's how do we balance marketing and ministry marketing and ministry, without overshadowing the assignment of God and that what God gave us, while simultaneously using this platform to get the word to the nations.
So are we supposed to be like graphic design evangelists? because you can't, like, I'm gonna tell you, man, like how I started, and when I got to the faith-based design, it was a complete mind-blowing thing to me. Because people in secular and people in the market and stuff, they don't think twice about what faith-based people think about.
Yeah, that's true.
Faith-based people think about they look at some of them look at marketing as secondhand. But if you go look at the people that they're buying stuff from, cars, pocketbooks, lashes, hair, clothes, those people do marketing that make you go get it. That makes you go spend money. So who behooves us to not express to them, and you get on the board and express to them what you want to sell to them, and you're selling eternal life if that's what you're selling. But at the same time, let's not forget that somebody else is making you look at something. Right. And you probably need to find out what the same thing they're doing to make them look at something. Right. So I don't think we have people have got to, like, if you're designing for a church, then you're supposed to lay your blood out, lay your soul out. No. If that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm giving you the professional tools to do what you need to do. And that don't mean that I have to, be your member or this or follow this that way. Just respect me. Like, just like Rontra was saying, a lot of people look at a design and they try to demean, what a church design is supposed to be. Let me say it like this: we need to sell what we're trying to sell, and don't be afraid to sell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is what's the need in having a great product if nobody knows about it? I can have this great product, but if you don't know that I have this product, how can this product be a blessing to you? And I liken the gospel or ministry as a product that we offer to the world. But how can we get this product out? And advertising is a part of marketing. And I think that we need to help the church to see that we have to advertise and we have to market this. I mean, that's a part of it. Marketing, advertisement is not a bad word. It ain't no sin.
Right.
It's not a sin.
And to go with that marketing piece, I would say that the look of them has to be of quality and professional.
Yes.
I know I've gotten a whole bunch of feedback, but I just tell people, if your flyers have selfies on them, I'm not doing them because it lessens the quality of my work. Yeah. And then also, it's not selling what you're trying to sell. So therefore, it's not even the standard of excellence that should be even put out. So, I mean, it's all about that look and everything. Like you said, selling that piece. Because I've even told some people I have to extend the deadline of when I do graphics because I'm trying to channel the vision that they have, but also the vision that God is trying to give me as well to create for them. So sometimes it may take a day longer, or it may take longer. And in the end, once they see the product, they're fine. But it's that piece of communication and like really relaying it to them. Because I mean, sometimes they just don't get it. They want what they want when they want it and how they want it. But it may not look how they actually thought it would look, or it doesn't sell what they're trying to sell. So then you have to go a different route.
That's good, Elgin, because you hit on something when you mentioned the selfies. One of the hardest things that I wouldn't say hardest. One of the most annoying things that I have to deal with is, if you send me a selfie with your shoulders cropped off. I'm a designer. I'm a graphic designer. I'm not a magician. I'm not saying I can grow you limbs.
Right.
Listen, I need for you to understand it. And see, and that's one of the clients that I've had that have been with me for a while. They understand that now. But it's still an ongoing battle. As you get new clients, all of them don't have professional headshots.
Right.
And I'm probably not gonna turn you away if your picture looks a certain way. I'll tell you to either send me another one or you just won't have a picture on your flyer.
I'll even give them a photographer. I got photographers in every city that I'll give them to. Because I've even told them, even every 3-6 months, you need to update. If I update, you need to update, because we're in this thing together. And I mean, it's just the look is everything. So I have them. I'm like, all right, did you schedule your 3 months? Did you schedule your 6 months? It's just like a checkup or a physical, but it's with pictures.
And I think we have to teach people, because realistically, the people that we cater to, they don't know what we do at all. Let's be real about it. They think we put pretty pictures together and put this here and put that there, when they don't realize that it's a science. To me, doing what you want done. Mm-hmm. It's a 10 to 15 year science of us being able to kick it out within the time that you guys want to kick it out in. And it's hard to get you. So we have to teach people. I think I'm a real component of teaching people how to deal with you, walk them along. This is our policies. If you have this, if you have that, if you have cut off shoulders, you want me to fix that other eye. Okay? This is what you're paying for. You're paying for more, okay? So if you want more, you can have this. But if you give me a selfie picture and Elgin done a picture, the way his style is he deals with photos out loud, out in front. Well, I can't give you that same thing, because you won't take time to do what you need to do for the look to get that same product that he puts out. So now he's got to charge you more, or now it's going to take a longer time, which they don't understand what happens, what needs to go when they say changes. When they say change, when somebody says changes, we need changes. It's like rebuilding the house again, all over again.
Yeah. Or that phrase, make it pop.
If you pull that word, never ever say pop again, ever.
I knew it was gonna get it right.
If anybody's watching this, when you tell your graphic designer you want it to pop, all his energy leaves out his ears. Gone. And that's okay, find another word. Ask them what word they can use to call the designer with them other than pop. Put love on it or something. But either way, like I said, we've got to look at it through everybody's lens, and we've got to teach them that no, this is if you got cut off shoulders, this is how much it's gonna cost to add shoulders. And you feel like we can do it, but it's not the same price at the same time. Now,
Photoshop is a mean tool, but I haven't gotten to the point in it where I can grow limbs. I ain't got there yet.
Man, listen, I had a client that wanted me to change their whole outfit color. And I'm like, hey, I could do that, but that's not. How about just upgrading your picture with a whole new outfit?
And then that's another thing too. Thinking of the because some people I have will ask me like, what do you think I should wear, or what may be versatile for all kinds of flyers, because you can't wear a bright pink and then want a Valentine's Day flyer, because you're gonna flash, or either the choice you got is black, white, or red in the background. So I mean, it's just all about thinking around and all outside the box and everything.
Hey, can I, as you're a photographer, Elgin, I just want to ask this, just throw it out there, maybe to help somebody. Is there a specific color background that person may need besides white? Maybe they don't want a white background.
So I would say that any color background works except black or dark gray or anything dark, because they don't realize you're black, Some of us are darker, some of us are lighter.
You just call everybody black.
Cutting out hair, cutting out every edge just doesn't work. I mean, and I've told people, like, when I see that they have great backgrounds, I'm like, I don't know what they tried to sell to you, but I would suggest going with a lighter color, or you could use that black accent in your clothing. That way it gives that sharper outline, but not the backgrounds, because we're already dark enough. And if they want to pop, they can't pop on a black dark background. But I mean,
and I would say stay away from car selfies, the bathroom selfies.
Yeah, please.
Oh my God, come on. We're living in 2021. Come on, find you a photographer. There's a lot of us out there that does photography.
And I will say this, even if you can't afford a photo shoot, if you have an iPhone 12, and I know I'm playing the ghetto route, I know I'm going the ghetto route, but if you have an iPhone 12 or iPhone 11, baby, you can get you a white sheet and tape it to your wall.
Don't do that to us. Don't do that to us, Russell.
I'm just saying,
I will not let you do it.
Better than a selfie, though. That's
better than nothing. Right. It's better than
a selfie. Until you can afford your professional photo shoot.
But now, if you got it on portrait mode, I'll accept it. But it just has to be enough, like, for the style that I do, and I know what vision I can go with. I don't want to sit here and limit my quality or show myself as a bad person when you're giving me something that I either got to choose to work with or just eliminate it at all. So I would just rather eliminate it, let somebody else go do it, because that's my time, that's my energy, and then that's my creativity that's just going to waste because you chose not to give me a picture that I could work with in different aspects.
If it's a formidable client, then I will, and that we're building campaigns for, and I want a long relationship with this client. I sit them down and I say, look, I know you like this picture, and I know you feel good about it. But let me show you some steps that we can take that'll help you along the way, that'll help you get down the road. So let's put an image out for you to look like that you care about your brand.
Right.
Because when you don't take time and try to make some way, find somebody, you can find a photographer because you find everything else you want. Somebody can find, you can find it because you find everything. You find your lunch, you find your dinner, you find what you want to find.
Right.
So if I tell them, I said, I love you as a client, I see how far you can go, but let's take these steps to make sure people take you serious. Because there's no need in you spending a lot of money down the months, on through the months, and I'm not making an impact for you. You're not making an impact for yourself. And so when people ask me, if people look at and say, who done your stuff? They're going to say, oh, Elton did your stuff for Industry Image. Oh, I thought he would have did this, and that. So as hard as it is for us to have those conversations and force those policies, it's going to affect us down the line, just as a matter of fact that it's going to affect them. And so taking a selfie, I wouldn't suggest anybody do that. That shows little respect that you have for what you're doing. You have no value for what you're trying to put out. And that shows the value. So, and psychologically, that affects me as a designer to say, oh, might not put my best foot forward, because I know if they have this mindset, I might need to get them in and get them out the door instead of cultivating them and building a relationship with them.
That's a good word, cultivation. And I think that's what, our clients go through, being cultivated to understand throughout time the importance of a professional photo shoot. I need to credit and shout out to all the photographers, because I know what you go through. If you have a photography business, put it in the comment section so somebody that's looking, they can see what's going on. And also, I want to shout out our sponsor tonight, Shanetta by Design. She's our sponsor tonight. And also, I want to shout out Walter Jeanette. He's another marketing guru. I'm like a genius. And hopefully, if we do a part 2, we can dissect his brain and see what's on his mind, because he's a genius. He's a genius. So I want to dive right into the next question. I didn't want to be up here no more than an hour. But it's two more questions I really want to dig in. The first one being, how do you manage? And it goes right in line with what we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you manage that unprofessional, that difficult client that don't know what they want, but just want something? How do you manage that?
I mean, for me, the way I've grown and matured in my business as an entrepreneur, as a decision maker, and understanding how valuable my time is, I don't do much in the way of managing. If we can hash out whatever the issue is, then I'll be happy to work with you. If you're willing to listen to me and take hold of what I'm telling you, then we can do this. But if I see this as a dead end, then I'm not afraid to say, this professional relationship is it may not work. So, I'll be happy to show you to somebody else who may be willing to take you on. But I'm at a place now where, the money that I might miss out on turning you loose can be made back and will be made back rather quick. The time that I wasted both having this conversation and having to deal with you and having to trying to get you to understand, when I see that you're not willing to intake and grab a hold of what I'm saying, then no, I can't get that time back. I'm never going to see that time again. Money can be made back, time cannot.
And here's my theory. I'll issue a refund before I get the headache.
Quick.
It ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it. It ain't worth. I send you one thing and I'm asking you, well, be detailed. What color scheme do you want? What do you want to see? And I send you everything that you asked me of. It still ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
And then because then you got the ones that they'll be like, oh well, I wanted to look like this, what you did before, or they'll pull something from somebody else, and I tell them, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I tried to pride myself on not creating the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it may be the same position, but it's going to be totally different, the concept that is built. But they will send it to you. They'll try. They'll be like, well, I saw this that somebody else did. Well, go to them. Yeah. I'll be glad to issue that refund. I mean, it's just that. I mean, like you said, that stress and that headache is worse than anything. And then if it goes wrong, and then it's all on you. Customer service is the greatest thing, but I mean, sometimes it can hurt more than help.
Yeah, it can.
Right.
Can you re-ask the question?
How do you handle the unprofessional client? Point blank.
That's what I thought you said.
But Elton, you said something some time ago on a previous live. You said, before I get a new client, I ask where you come from. I think you said that one time.
When somebody comes to me and said we had a designer and it didn't work out, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. I said, well, no, they'll say we had to get we had an old designer. I asked them what happened with the old designer.
Yeah,
because
that's an important question.
That's really important, because you got to always ask why. I don't care what kind of talent you got.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You got to have the right character, you got to have the right system, and you got to have the right policies. I asked them that because I got to know what happened. I tell them what happened, so you can tell me, so I'm not shooting in the dark. Tell me what you like, tell me what you dislike, so I'm not giving you the same thing that they wanted, that they had. But I'm one for creatives and I'm one for designers, and I will not let you do my partner wrong. I will not let you do my comrades wrong. And I will also hold their feet to the fire. If you know me, you know me. If somebody's calling around looking for you, I'm calling the designer. Hey, make this right. Do this right, because what you do affects all of us. And so with clients, I still want to know what went wrong, what's going on, what happened. That's just it. I take care of the designer, but a bad client, man, I will let them go so quick, so fast. And the thing is that they think that you're dependent on their money.
Right.
They're Anybody's going to call another graphic designer, so let me help you and bless your soul on tonight. Sit down, because I'm about to bless your soul. We don't care about you introducing us to anybody. You're not going to get us noticed. We know all we want to do for you is provide a service for you, and hopes it grows into a relationship where you are respected and I'm respected. The more I respect you and perform and produce for you, then the more you can benefit from that and come back and keep spending and building a relationship with me.
Yeah.
We met all the famous people that you think we haven't met. They're not spectacular as you think they are.
Right.
We met them in back rooms. We met them in offices. We flew to their studios. They are not spectacular as you think. We do not care about your cousins. We don't care about your uncles or your mother. Just follow the procedure, and then everybody gonna get along.
Let's hear from our ladies. We haven't heard much from.
I would say just being upfront, because I mean, with business, of course, we have to be professional and we have to be kind, but at the same time, we can't let our kindness be taken for weakness. And I haven't really had to deal with many difficult clients, but I have had to deal with maybe one, and they're still my client now. It's just the fact of, like you said, when someone doesn't really know what they want and you have to keep, making something over and over and over again. At that point, I just had to say, okay, at this point, it's going to be extra. Like, you can't keep getting, a new design for the same price. Like, at this point, you have to pay extra if you want anything else done. And they understood that. They apologized or whatever. But just being upfront, like you said, with your policies, whatever your rules are, just make sure they are aware of it. If we've given them everything we can give them, then at that point, we just need more money to do anything else.
Joy, you got anything you want to add?
Everybody said everything, but just like Shanetta said, the extra, most definitely. But after about 5 go-arounds, come on. If I haven't created anything that you like by now, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. There's other graphic designers that will be able to, capture your vision. I'm sorry, I can't provide what you need. So they have to be willing to let go and move on.
Indecisiveness costs money.
Right.
That's true.
It costs you money and everything else. You want that higher cable bill. You want that higher package. You want these new premium tires. They cost more than the used tires.
Yeah. And then Elton said something earlier. He was like, you have those clients that say, I'm excited. I'm ready to see what you got and this and that. Those are those difficult clients as well, because then they create that distraction and that frustration, because it's like, you're sitting here so eager to get something, and then once you get it, it's like, oh, I don't like this or this and that. Like, if you were patient in the get-go and just waited until we could give you what we thought or what we were going to give you, but they will definitely use that I'm excited line, or you got anything for me?
I trust your judgment.
Can I see something that you're working on? Can I see a sneak peek, a preview? No. When I'm I mean, it's just
no. This is the setup right here. Okay, I'm excited about this. Do something. Let me see what you come up with, and then come back. We'll see what we can do. I'm gonna talk to my friends. No, I'm not. This is not a hobby, and we're not in art class. I'm not showing. You know what my skill set is. That's why you came to me. Okay, so no, we're not playing that game. We're for hire. You have a consult with us. That's how you set up business with us. We have a consult. We have a briefing. We talk about what your goals are, where you want this to be at. And a lot of people won't. I heard this designer say the other night. She's like, well, I don't go through briefing and anything. They just send me an email and I do what they want done. Well, I told her you're setting yourself up for frustration, because if you don't get all the wants and nots and what they don't want, you just set yourself up probably 5 more hours of designing. And if you charging something an hour, you done made that it done cost you 5 times that, and you losing money. And so we got to think about building. We usually never have a balance of artists and business, our skill set and business. And so we'll get so excited about our skill set and our talent, and we won't even think about the business. We won't write out the business. What does this need to cover? What's coming up? Forecast 3 months. Forecast if my computer goes down, what kind of stock do I have for that? Because it's gonna happen. It happened to all of us. You know, if you ever had a hard drive crash or something like that, your screen go black, and you just gotta prepare for that. And we've letting people hold us to mercy of $50, $75, $100 here and there. No, and they do it because you're not preparing yourself. And you can save yourself a lot of headache if you prepare yourself. I think
that's true. Fact.
One thing that I've noticed too, and I've intentionally done this, is like raising your prices. Like when we learn to know our value, then our customers will know our value. If someone is, let's just say if someone is expecting something that should cost hundreds of dollars, but they only want to pay $20 for it, like that's not the kind of client that I want. Like they need to know my worth, you know, my value.
Right.
So when our prices are at a certain level, if they're not willing to pay that, then that's not my client. You know, like we set
that's good,
up, you know, we set up the clients that we want to see how we value ourselves. So I've actually taken time to do that in my own business. And like I said, if someone doesn't want to pay it, then I mean, that's not the type of client that I need or want.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
So, and we about to wind on down, but you know, when we deal with those Rudy clients, those unprofessional clients, the clients that just don't know what they want, sometimes that can lead to burnout. So I just want to just touch on that for a moment. You know, how do you prevent that creative burnout?
Vacation.
Yeah.
What you say?
Vacation.
Vacation.
Yes, vacation.
I would say also giving those terms and conditions up front. That way they know, even if they're an old client, new client, because some of them will not read. They'll just click pay now and they don't care about it. And you're like, oh, well, it's been here the whole time. You just ain't chose to read it. So I would say that because, like, I mean, personally, me at the end of last year, like, it was a creative block like crazy. And it was affecting everything. But then, like, once this new year hit, like, it was on the go. But I put new systems in place and things of that sort, and tried to limit my focus because you can't serve everybody. There's enough out here for all of us to eat.
Right.
You just have to choose what you will allow. So
that's kind of what I was going to allude to. Is, you know, I had to realize really quick, you know, what my limits were. You know. We have to understand our capacity. You know, although we may do some of the same things, we all have different capacity. Like if you know, JR might have the capacity of a platter, but my capacity may be a salsa. While both of us, you know, while both of us can handle a full plate, my full plate don't look like it's full plate. So I gotta know personally what I can handle, how many projects I can take on, and also while being in those projects, like me, I love what I do. I'm passionate about designing, and so I'll dive head first, and before I know it, 3 or 4 hours done went by, and nothing I've done up to this point looks right. So that's my cue to be like, all right, you need to back up, you need to take a break. Go downstairs, see what the family's doing, see what, you know, get a meal, get dinner, you know, take in a show or two, and then get back at it. It's just knowing your limits and knowing how to manage your time and knowing when to step away, and regather yourself.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Anybody else?
I would say is one thing that's not popular among us is getting somebody to help us out, getting another designer to help you out.
Yeah.
I heard these, two guys, and they was talking. Both of them were designers, and they was bragging on, yeah, I don't need nobody. I don't ask nobody to design for me because I design all I want to, and I'm the best. Da da da. But yet they can't seem to get or move over that concept of CEO instead of working hand to foot every single hour of the day of your life. If you don't learn how, me and Walter talk about this. Walter Jeanette says collaboration is the new currency. And before that, the last probably 9 to 6 years, I've been collaborating with different people. I've got probably 6 or 7 designers I can turn to now if something wants to happen to me or anything like that. Then they will help me. And all the jobs that we get in the industry image, if we can shop them out to some people, then we will. Collaboration is a good thing, and we can't want to be the star to stand on top of the podium and say, "Oh, me," because you want to be in the spotlight all the time. Take it from a person that's been in the spotlight for a long, long time. When you're under that spotlight, it gets hot under that spotlight, and you can't move because people expecting you to stay under that spotlight. People not paying you for your talent. They ain't paying you for this and that. They paying for you to be consistent. Consistency. That's it. People didn't pay Michael Jordan because he was probably the best player. They pay him because they wanted to see him show up every single night. And I think that we don't reach out and use. Last year, the end of last year, probably August, I got COVID. And like Elgin was saying, that thing affects you. A lot of people don't talk about it, but as a creative, I've seen creatives just stop, quit what they were doing, and because that COVID it'll affect your creativity and it'll shut you down. But if you're blessed to come out of it, you come out of it and you jump back on, you'll feel like a raging bull. But at the same time, I had to call on people when I was going through that to say, help me with this, help me with that. Even if you got to have an administrator and you say, okay, I know you have a business, let's barter, let's do this. What can I offer you? Use your resources because you have way more resources than you think. Find a counselor, a therapist that needs stuff because you need a therapist and you need counseling. You need somebody to talk to because we keep it all in here. We keep it all in here, and then our family members and everybody wonder why we pop up and go mad because we keep it all in here. I think it's good to talk about what designers expect, but I think it's better to talk about what designers need. Because if we talk about what we need, then we can give people and teach people how to give us what we need. I can't take your product on, you expect it in 3 days, but you want the world. That's not healthy for me. That's not healthy for my family. That's not healthy for my friends. And that's not healthy for my me time. I think I've gone over my time, but okay.
No, you're fine.
So
I want to say,
go ahead.
Go.
It might be short. To go along with what he said about not being afraid to get help from others. Also, just learning from a webinar, someone else's workshop. Learning new tutorials, that's another way to build our creativity. Because a lot of times we learn as we go along. Some things we didn't even realize, we didn't realize what we could, knew how to do. But getting information from other designers will help us. Like I said, don't be afraid to learn more. If you feel like you're at a creative block, like I said, just take a break, learn from somebody else. Ask questions. There's nothing wrong with getting help from others.
Nice.
And I was about to say, I experienced burnout years ago. Are we over our time?
You go ahead.
Okay. Years ago, because I was doing everything all myself, like the web design, the flyers, the t-shirts, like everything all myself. And just like recently, like 2 years ago, I was able to realize like, hey, I got to be in charge. I have to put somebody over these things because I cannot handle everything myself. And when we get
Delegate.
bombarded, we begin to get burned out. And I really had to step back and take a vacation. Like, look, clients, I'm going away. Don't text me, email me. I'll have your things laid out before I leave. But during that time, I have to vacate because you have to step away and get a refreshing, a fresh start. Clear your mind, relax, go to a spa. There's so much tension. A lot of times I sit in the chair designing. I feel like my posture just designing is off. Like if you don't be able to take care of you, then we can't take care of our clients. So we have to begin to put ourselves first in working as creatives.
That's really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like to
look,
say, like,
we're going to wind this.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, real short. Get run trail face. What this guy gonna say?
That's your second. You know, at preachers they have them second and third closings. That's your second.
Well, hey, some people have said it, but but like she said, when you go on vacation, nobody don't like to see a designer go on vacation. Nobody. When you say you're going on vacation, now before they start calling, and they'll call you on your vacation. If they see you on the live, they'll try to call you and talk to you on the live. Because you live on Facebook. Just chill out. You want too much attention, just chill out. Okay. I love this, man. You gotta do this again, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, so look, I really want to thank each of you. Like I said in the beginning, each one of you I've looked up to as a graphic designer. Like I said, I'm the little brother of each and every one of you. I know in particularly Shanetta, as far as collaboration, that is who I definitely have collaborated with a lot. And also just recently with Rontrell and Elton. But just to close out, we touched bases on everything from the unprofessional client to dealing with the church and the marketplace, understanding, the importance of marketing. But now I just want if you will, just leave us with each of you, just leave us with a word of encouragement for that person that wants to consider you're laughing at me, wants to consider, graphic design, starting in the graphic design. Just what word of encouragement will you give to that person?
I would say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead.
I would say, look to someone else that's doing it and learn from their mistakes, because experience is not the best teacher. No, because the test comes first, and after the test is the lesson. So experience is not the best teacher. So I would say get with someone that's doing it, learn from their mistakes, so you won't have to make those same mistakes. The quickest way to success is to find somebody that's already successful, and you just do what they did. So I would just say find somebody that you admire their particular design style and just learn from them.
That's good. That's part of what I was going to touch on is you have a mentor, seek out a mentor, and it'll make your road, it'll make your path a whole lot easier. It won't be easy, but it'll be easier. Also, be as authentic as you can possibly be. Be authentic, and consider your motivation for wanting to do it in the first place. If money is your prime motivator, then you're not going to last long. You're not going to last because it takes time. It takes an investment to build your business and to build your brand, to build your clientele. So if you're in it for $1 and not willing to put in the time and the work to build it, then you have the foundation to go off of, and you're not going to last long. And lastly, cancel out all negativity out of your circle. If you got people in your ear telling you every reason why it's not going to work, why you can't do it, why you don't have time to do it, why you don't have finances to do it, etc., Get it out of your life. It's not gonna help.
Mhm. I would say invest in yourself. Take the time to learn from, like I said, learn from others. Do paid workshops, ebooks. Get the training first because your name is going to be behind your brand, and however you start out, you want your brand to reflect you. So, like they say, start out how you can hold out, but start out professional, and that way, your clients will see you as professional.
I would say never stop learning, as everybody else said, but never stop learning. And do not compare. Whatever you bring to the table, that's what you bring to the table.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
when we get to start comparing with others, you put yourself in a bad position because now you put negative thoughts, like Brandon has said, into your mind, as you can't really. Siri? Siri just popped up. I'm sorry. Put negative minds, your mindset to think that you can't do this particular project or anything, but know what you bring to the table and own that, and do not compare.
Just to go back, I would say get a business coach. If you have multiple entities to your business, I have one for graphics, I have one for photography, and I have one for the marketing side of my clothing, because you can never have too many business coaches, and take in all the advice you can, because you don't know it all. There's still learning that can be done, and there will be a time where you come across something that you may not know how to navigate. So just again, have those resources. That's all I can tell you.
I was. Is it me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I would say make sure that you have, if you can, and you're at this point, and you're starting, and you get ready to start, or anything like that. I'll say, if you're going degree wise, get your degree in business administration, or find some kind of business class to take. It's good to have a business coach, but you don't want to be to the point where you need a business coach right offhand. You want to know to have you want to have to be able to have a conversation with them when they're having that conversation, so you understand the culture. Because a lot of people have business coaches and they don't understand the culture. When you have a business coach, or you have a person that mentees you, you're supposed to chase them. They're not supposed to chase you and come find you. You're supposed to run them down. You're supposed to take them out to lunch. You're supposed to sow seeds in their life. To make it worth them reaching back and giving you what you're reaching over for. Everybody says, I want you to tell me how'd you make it. Well, I'm gonna tell you how I made it, but at the same time, I'm not giving you this for free if I don't see any character for me to dish and feed and pour into you and take what I've given you and go cast it upon swine. So you gotta enjoy these pearls, not the pearls and chucks, but you gotta enjoy the pearls. So I would say get your business administration, learn some kind of business. You gotta take a class. Number two, second, this should have been number one, but number two, make sure you got something spiritual in your life going on.
Definitely.
Make sure you got something spiritual, because if you don't have that in the middle, you're going to be left to yourself, and you're going to do stupid things, and you're not going to learn from them. You don't have anything to speak to you that says, okay, I did this wrong. I need to go back and apologize. I need to fix this with this client. All of that. Because at the halftime, it's not bad how bad you mess up. It's how well you clean up. That person may say, okay, they really made an effort to really come back and clean that up. I knew they messed up, and I may give them a chance on something else. And the third thing is always give back. Always give back. Because there's going to be a time where you give back to somebody else that has an opportunity that you don't have or you don't get. But now your name is attached to their story. And the bigger they become, that's how bigger you become. That's how much character that you have now. So those are, if I had to to tell somebody that was getting into graphic design, just remember those 3 things. And one last thing is take advice from people that is proven. Take advice from people that has been proven, not giving you their opinions.
Yeah.
You can't debate. I had a guy one time come, a little young guy saying, well, you can't win debate with me. Da, da, da. I said, young fella, you're debating with opinions. I'm debating with experience. And make sure you get advice from somebody that's been proven, got something to say, and show some got something to show. So
that's good, El.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Anybody else?
Well, one last thing I would add, just real quick, it's just, you know, be a person of integrity. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. When you say you're gonna have it done,
right?
Be a person of integrity, and that's it.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Maybe, you know, I know there's probably some pastors out there probably getting mad at me because they probably saying to themselves, that joker need to be working on my flyer right now.
That's what they saying. You got time to be on Facebook. You got time to be on Facebook. I had somebody just hit me like that. They don't know what I think they mean, but I know.
Yeah. So I got pastors mad at me right now. So look, maybe we can do a part 2 sometime later down the road. But listen, I really appreciate you guys chiming in tonight and your wisdom tonight. This was great. This was great content. Just like some people was commenting down here in the comment section. This is podcast stuff right here. But listen, Elgin, Montrell, Elton, Joy, Brandon, Shanetta, listen, I appreciate y'all. And so until next time, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight at the big meeting. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah.
They still gonna get you. If you got time to work on play on Facebook, you got time to do my work. That's what they're gonna say. Anyway,
let me get off this live, man. We still
peace out, man.